My family has been over here for several generations. We would be the Biloxi, Chittamatra, Choctaw Indians of Louisiana. This is where I'm from, this is who I am, this is what I know. Because I just never lived no other place but Jean Charles.
Me, I just love it down here. I was born and raised down here, and I just love it down here. It's quiet and peaceful. But they ain't got that many people living no more down here. When I was down here, they had probably 300 and something people back in our younger days.
That's where I was born and raised, further to the end over there. It's been going since 1965. Hurricane Betsy just decided to take our old house away. If I stayed on the island, I would just be as poor as them, because now every so many years you have to replace all your appliances and repairs your home, and you can't get ahead. Yeah, these are all my family right here. Right here was the grocery store that we had. It was a grocery store, a dance hall, a church, a school, and a barroom. We had a lover's lane too, right there by that big oak trees. People come park and make love. We'd pass and we'd holler. We were silly, I guess.
At one time, whenever we got together for a family celebration that my Uncle Rock Nanke would put together, we could easily sit, 35 people. And before that started to dwindle down, I realized that sometimes we'd get down to maybe 12, maybe 15, and like, oh wow.
The water just kept coming up and up and up, and it just keep flowing everywhere. That's why all the kids and grandkids, they just move out, because right now, when a storm comes, a real bad one, you got mud everywhere. But I think it got a lot to do with the climate change too, because you ain't got no more land around here. And that's from that salt water just eating up everything.
The white man chases down the bayous, and then now Mother Nature chases go up the bayou.
What is climate change? For us, the major factor would be erosion of the land, because the Gulf of Mexico is pushing north. And so with the running tide being constant, but the land in itself doesn't have the chance to hold itself together against that movement. And then you have the man-made era that plays in climate change, where all these canals were dug. Southeast Louisiana is just littered with canals carved out for a pipeline, for the production of oil and gas. Whenever they dug these canals, they just created more avenues for water to come in. It just speeded up the process. And by the time we noticed how bad it was actually almost too late. The land was sacrificed for prosperity.
Years back, all this right here was all fresh water, yeah. Now it's all brackish water, more salt than sweet, you know, so it's fresh. See them houses to our right, in the far distance over there, that's Island Jean Charles. They don't have much land between them. Years back, it was all solid land right here. Well, according to my map, you can see it was like a lake before. I don't know what year this is, you know, but it shows all the land they had years back compared to what they got right there. Now, yeah, mostly blue. That's a pipeline. The line runs underneath there. They've got the signs to mark where the pipeline passes, but that's it. All these canals right here were cut here for the oil and gas companies.
Ile de Jean Charles is over there. You can kind of see it over the trees. Look, you can see it. So where we are is the fastest eroding basin in the United States. You can see the land disappearing before your eyes, which is the home to indigenous peoples, the island, Pointe-au-Champ, Bayou Lafourche. We're the Pointe-au-Champ tribe, so that's this area that we're in right now, and we're related to Ile de Jean Charles. We have a lot of common ancestors, and then our tribal members intermarry with Ile de Jean Charles. This is my great-grandma, and this is an individual Waran, who they call a Rougarou. This one is pre-contact with Europeans. This is 1932 when they first discovered oil and gas. And this is 2010, all the loss, and this is a projection, like if nothing's done to the area by 2065. That's part of the Morganza, is this levee. And so you can see the islands excluded from this levee. That won't protect them from, you know, all the storms that keep coming in. The Army Corps of Engineers came down here, and Mr. Albert, the chief from the island, tried to meet with them to persuade them to include the island in the Morganza to Gulf levee system, and it was decided that it wasn't cost effective to include the island people in that levee system. Deciding that the island wasn't important enough to include in that levee system, it's a forced relocation because a lot of people have already had to leave because of the storms and the flooding that's been caused by that. I mean, for a small storm, the road floods.
They were saying we're gonna let a community like Isle de Jean Charles go. Now, if we would have been rich people with a large tax base, well, I'm sure that would have changed everything. But Chief Albert Nancan has to protect that culture. And he is the one that has been promoting relocation for the last 20 years.
We got the money January 2016. The island for the resettlement was granted $48.2 million.
I know I'll be resettling over here with my nephew and my niece, but it's different from what I'm used to. It's not my home front. It'll be a while before that there takes place. Hey, how you doing, dude?
All right. How you
My
doing?
name is Chris Bruni. I'm from Isle de Jean Charles.
Okay.
Yes,
Steve.
sir.
With Radcliffe.
Chris is gonna live here in 8 months.
Whenever this year's gonna be completed, I'll be moving over here.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. Nice to meet you. Where we're walking right now will be houses in less than a year. We're thinking maybe 50 or so, but we don't know yet. It's the first time that we have tried to move a community en masse like this, but the island has lost about 98% of its land mass since the 1950s. Do I think it's unfair? I think it's terrible that we've got coastal communities all around the world, all over this country and in our state, who are going to be faced with some similar decisions. While we hate that we have to do this to create this opportunity, we're glad that we can. Nobody wants to leave their ancestral home.
That's right. It's not a celebration. It's a decision that brings me over here, and not a celebration or an opportunity.
Right.
And you know, and in spite the good intentions, you know, this year still has the flavor where Native Americans are dealing with the federal government, where it's not y'all as individuals that want to think maybe opposite of us or discriminative of us, but it's just that it's just something that is just built in up in there, you know. So hopefully that in this process right here, maybe there's something that could be learned.
I mean, I understand Chris's distrust in the process. I don't know if coastal living is only going to be for the rich in the future, but if wealthy people decide to go there and pay the $20,000 a year in flood insurance that they're going to have to pay, that's a different situation from having folks who can't afford all that, who in many cases can't afford to have their homes elevated. And so when it floods, their home is filled with mud and they spend 2 weeks getting the mud out of it. Those are the folks we're given an opportunity to move to a new community that's safer and higher and drier.
This year is something new, it's voluntary, and I did speak about it, you know, with my nephew and niece, and we agreed as a family to be part of the resettlement. I would have had to deal with that.
Was it hard for you?
Yeah, but I guess it's better to deal with it this way than something at the last minute.
Yeah.
So like if something were to happen and we were to get a major storm that would be a direct hit and, you know, all would be lost. I mean, what could be done, not only for us as an individual family, but for the community as a whole. I think this gives us a chance to, you know, make decisions and be a part of that change instead of it's something that's just, you know, taken away from us. And that's not even the island's fault, you know?
It's yours.
No.
We do begin tonight with this category 4 hurricane coming through. Entire communities cut off from urgent evacuations in Louisiana.
Behind me, the whipping winds of Hurricane Ida.
16 years to the day after Hurricane Katrina. Desperation in Louisiana.
It's heartbreaking. you know. I've never seen this much damage after a storm. Either would have to be the worst for us. And so I am fortunate that I got, you know, something to work with. My heart is broken for other people that lost everything, that's coming home to nothing. Look at my aunt's house. It's gone. Just gone. So this here is something different.
Chris, we never seen that like
No, never.
Man, it's saddening though to go ride down the bay right now, just look and just see.
Everywhere.
Everybody you knew.
Everybody you.
Got
Oh yeah.
damage to their house.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna wait till after the water is back on, and then we're gonna start our cleanup up in there. You know.
Ain't the water back yet down there
Nope.
yet?
Nope. Give me the water. I'm good. I'm back home.
Yeah. All right, there, Chris. How's it
Sam,
going, brother?
you take care, Shaq. Hey, thank you for that information. I'm coming back home. Because this here is my home, my only home. This is all I do have. At the resettlement that's being worked on, whenever that's going to be completed, then I'll go over there. But until then, this is home over here. I didn't think that the resettlement was going to take place in my time. I actually figured it would have took place maybe 2 generations after me, and that I wouldn't have seen what I'm seeing today, but it is. But you know, our local editor of the Homer Courier said something. He said, they're not refugees, but they're pioneers. Because this here is just an example of some things to come in other places. It is a response to the climate change, of the changes that's going on in this environment. And that $48 million will not stop what's going on through coastal erosion. It is just a response.